Tales of the Dark Feminine, and today I am going to do a little reading for you. Now, this book is filled with entities, deities, tales across time, across cultures, but I wanted to focus on one that we know, we love, and she's quite fearsome. But you know what? She wasn't always like that. And that's the interesting thing about storytelling. Who's telling the story? What perspective? So I took her, read all the different tales, the different details from different versions, the Romans, the Greeks, and I settled on my own. So here is my retelling of the one and only Medusa, the making of a monster. So what I'm going to do is start the tale, pause it, and then go to the end because, I mean, there's no spoilers. We all know her fate and what happened. But I think it's quite inspiring, so here we go. At the calm river's edge, with sunlight bathing her skin, Medusa sat combing her hair. She rubbed a drop of olive oil into the ends and applied a palmful of beeswax from root to end to give a brilliant shine. Her long honey-colored locks fell to below her breast like a silk scarf. She smiled at her reflection as she thought of love and of which handsome suitor she would choose, for she had the luxury of choice. This made her parents very proud. "So, who will be calling for you today?" her eldest sister would tease, a hint of jealousy in her tone. But Medusa didn't care. Once she wed, her life's path would be set. She wanted to bear strong sons, yet longed in secret for a daughter she could dress and whose hair she could comb by the water like her mother did with her. Today she bathed and prepared herself to give offerings at Minerva's temple. Her gossamer gown gave a hint of her fully blossomed figure, a body meant to bring life into this world. The temple appeared quiet when she arrived. She liked this. There'd be no one to disturb her as she prayed. The incense and smoke from lit torches gave the air a woody scent. She breathed it in and kneeled before Minerva. "And what are you doing here?" The voice startled her. She looked up and blushed to see a man taller than her father, with broad shoulders and a thick beard white as sea foam. There was no denying he was attractive, but she had no desire to consort with someone she didn't know. "I've come to worship," she said politely before turning back to the statue of Minerva. He stepped closer until he stood by her side and kneeled next to her. She glanced up and he gave her a sly smile. "Well, may I worship you? You're so very beautiful. I want to become lost in your hair." His fingertip grazed the side of her face as he pushed away the hair that was covering her breast. Medusa averted her gaze, feeling the intensity of his eyes. "I must go now." She moved to rise to her feet and leave, but Neptune grabbed her wrist. "So soon? Talk with me for a while." The flush in her cheeks crawled down her neck and enveloped her entire body. This was not excitement. It was fear. She glanced around the deserted precinct, then smiled calmly and sweetly. She knew she needed to appease him until someone else arrived, or she could get away. "My parents will wonder where I am." He pulled her closer, tightening his grip on her wrist until she was inches from his face. His breath smelled like dried fish in the sea. With his other hand, he squeezed her waist. "Tell them you are with a god." Her body trembled as she saw the coldness in his eyes, as dark and lethal as a brutal storm at sea. There was no warmth or care, only the crushing weight of his desire. "Please let me go," she pleaded, with her words in her eyes, hoping for some mercy. He could have anyone. Why her? He smiled again. "No." Minerva placed her hand on the crown of Medusa's head. "Venomous serpents shall replace your beautiful hair. You are more than a damaged maiden. You will become a maiden of death. You wish to become stone, and now you wield the power to create stone from flesh." Medusa's eyes rolled towards the back of her head. She tugged her long strands of hair, and chunks of spun gold fell in her lap, a pile of human silk. She hunched over and felt her bald head. A puzzled expression crossed her face as an itching sensation crawled over her scalp. She cried out as each follicle, a writhing creature wiggled out and began to grow. The hissing became deafening in her ears, but Minerva held both of her hands, squeezing reassuringly as the tiny serpents swelled to full size. Their bodies lashed and whipped in every direction, their fangs on show. Strings of venom fell from their mouths. Do not fear, child. These snakes will not harm you. They are your companions and a sign of your power. Your kiss is venom, and your gaze is lethal. No one shall ever hurt you again. Medusa rose to her feet with Minerva's help. Thank you, goddess. Minerva bowed her head. Now go. The Gorgon emerged from the temple, her body bruised, her dress torn and bloody. She touched one of the serpents, caressing her cheek, giving her comfort with its flickering wet tongue. Come, my faithful companions. We have many miles to travel before we reach the sea. He shall weep an ocean for me, for all for whom the word no was not enough. And you'll get a little wisdom after each story. And wisdom. So here, Medusa's wisdom. Medusa is autonomy and self-acceptance. When others curse us or speak ill of us for no reason except that we exist, or when they create a narrative that is not from our own lips, we must have the courage to be who we are and refuse to allow their venom or poison to poison our self-belief. Do not change for someone who might shift their perception or opinion of you in the next 5 minutes. When we turn inward, the world has less hold over our sense of our own value in society. Beauty is a perfect example of this. Everywhere we turn, we are told how to look, how much to weigh, how to dress, or what gender should mean. But we get to determine these things for ourselves. Our personal power is strengthened when we can be who we truly are. This is your experience. Live it for yourself. And with that, I hope you'll check this out. Hope you enjoyed that little reading. You can go to YouTube and TikTok here for others. Take care of yourself.